Hola y bienvenido a todos, and welcome to this week's episode of La Bella Vida. I'm your host, Lindsay Bernal.
And I'm Christina Ochoa.
Today, we're going to be talking all about spring break. The first thing that comes to mind is parties and having a good time. But there is a fine line between having a good time and just being out of control. So in order to have a great trip to remember and come back and share those memories, we have some helpful tips for you to keep safe and have a fun trip of a lifetime. So we're going to start with tip number 1. Never leave an establishment with someone you don't know. What do you think about that, Christina?
I honestly think that is a great tip because I do know someone who she lived in New York. It was this girl from my hometown. She went to New York. She actually went to a club, got a random guy's phone number, left with the random guy, and she's been missing since. They don't know what's going on. They haven't found her body. They don't know who she left with. Her friends, they didn't care. They left and they went to go have a good time. Yeah. So I think, you should never leave. You should always stick with your friends.
Yeah, so many people are willing to say, I met this person, they seem trustworthy, but you never know who you're talking to.
Yeah, he might seem like a nice person and a fun guy, but all of a sudden, you might be in a position where something could happen, you know?
Any person can put on a good front and pretend like they're the king in the world, or they're going to promise you everything just to say exactly what you want to hear to make sure that you come home with them and you may never leave.
Well, here's tip number 2. Establish a spring break buddy system. Now, I know I have all my friends on my speed dial. I think putting your friends on your speed dial, or at least having them, maybe one go with you, one never leave without the other one. I think that's a good idea. What do you think about
Definitely.
that?
I mean, absolutely have them on speed dial. Call them to make sure if you're going to leave somewhere, let them know. Even if it takes forever to find them, you'd rather have them know where you're going than not know at all.
Right.
So our third tip is leave your contact information with several different parties, including your parents. And you want to check in regularly. This may sound like really lame, but it's a great idea. Because if your parents know where you are, they're going to be more susceptible to check up on you and want to know that you're doing okay. And it really only takes about 5 minutes. Let them know that you're back home in your room safely and that you'll call them tomorrow. Don't ever forget that.
Tip number 4, don't drink and drive. We might think it's cool, we just had one drink and we think it's okay that we can drive. But seriously, even if you had one drink, it could still make a difference.
Yeah, that's all it takes is one little bit more than you thought you needed, and it can end your life in an instant.
And I remember in high school, they right before spring break, the DPS would always come and they would show us all the videos of all the accidents that happened. And it put a mental image so that when any of my friends, I never really went to spring break, but when any of my friends went, I let them know, do not drink and drive.
Yeah, and I know even here on campus, they put on a live show of an accident happening, and they go through the whole motion of, say, the accident, and then the parents find out, they come, they do a mock-up funeral of the whole incident, and it's just really a sad event, but it's so eye-opening to show you that in 1 second you could be here and the next you could be gone just because of a silly mistake. So our next tip is never leave your drink unattended. That is a huge one to remember.
That is a huge one, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I watched Degrassi, and I saw the episode where I think it was one of the Darcy left her drink unattended, and she got raped.
Oh, wow.
And, you can just go to the bathroom and leave your drink there, but you never know if somebody could put something in there or if they mess with it. There's a lot of stuff out there.
And also, you could get your drink mixed up. Say you set it next to someone who has the exact same drink, and you never know what that person has had the whole night. If they have some kind of disease or something, you're drinking after them, you don't even know.
Right.
So if you're going to leave your drink, just get a whole new one. It doesn't matter if it costs more money. Don't leave it in the first place.
Tip number 6. Here's a good one for y'all. Use a condom. Now, no glove, no love, guys.
Absolutely. If you're going to be sexually active, be smart about it. There's no what ifs. It's most likely going to happen that without a condom, it's going to be tragic.
And you never know. I've heard so many stories from spring break. You need to be safe. You need to be precautious because you don't know what could happen.
We don't want any more spring break babies. No, we have enough people to fill this world already. So be smart about it. And for our final tip, if you're going out of the country, make sure you know about your destination.
Print out maps, print out stuff. You need to make sure that you're informed about it because you don't want to be there and all of a sudden you don't know.
Yeah. And also, we're all fans of MTV, right?
Oh.
Couple seasons ago, the Real World cast was in Cancun. And everybody that is on the Real World is required to have a job.
Right.
And since they were in Cancun during spring break, their job was to be assistants in Student City, which is a program that's run to help and host organize student vacations in a fun and safe manner. And I would definitely recommend this group if you're planning on going anywhere for spring break, if you plan on taking a trip with a large group of friends. They're going to look after you. They're going to make sure everything is organized, and they're going to make sure you're going to get back safely. And to get more information about them, you can go to studentcity.com.
And there's other fun stuff that you can do if you have no plans to go to the beach. You can always have a barbecue with your friends. You can go swimming. You can go bowling. You can do other fun stuff and not give in to the peer pressure.
Definitely. I mean, you can have fun anywhere you go, no matter what you're doing. As long as you're with your friends, you're having a good time, it's going to be a memorable trip no matter what. And I believe now we're going to go to news with Jessica.